Welcome to Melt. I'm Suresh Venkat. We come to you today from the headquarters of Duroflex. The mattress and furniture manufacturer operates under two main brands, Duroflex and Sleepyhead. Together, the brands aim to penetrate India's unorganized mattress market, which currently makes up almost 60% of the total industry. To know more, we're in conversation with Mohanraj J, CEO of Duroflex, and Mathew Joseph, co-founder of Sleepyhead. What's the future of mattress technology? How does one market mattresses to a young population? Find out as we get ready to melt with Mohanraj and Mathew. Mohanraj Jagannivasan and Mathew Joseph, welcome to Melt.
Thank you.
Mohan, let's start with the first question for you. I don't know much about the mattress industry. Frankly, I haven't thought much about the mattress industry. What are the top three things I need to know about the business?
First of all, thank you for having me here. Been in this industry for the last 7 years and I've kind of been seeing this industry evolving. The way we see this industry is like a sunrise industry. We believe this industry is where paints were 25 years back. Painting was never considered to be, except putting some distemper. Now it's a family event, whole family get involved. And we genuinely see mattress reaching out there. With this entire COVID has really fast-paced this focus on sleep. That's really making mattress a very important category. I feel a lot of digital play coming up. We always felt mattress cannot be sold online. It's not a digital product, bulky product, but today it's almost 25% of our sale has moved on the online. So a lot of play of tech. And as we evolve, I feel mattress will reach a stage where people will start looking at mattress as a surface which provides very good sleep and good comfort on the back, and possibly that's where we also want to drive this brand. So I see this like a lot of tech play, a lot of online play coming in, and consumer being more aware, and this possibly being an integral part of your life as we move forward.
So Mohan, would it be fair to say that what Duroflex actually sells is the good night's sleep, not a mattress?
Absolutely. That's our endeavor. In fact, our vision statement says we want to be the most admired brand in the sleep and the comfort space. That's our vision as a group. And obviously, we want to provide or probably help India sleep better. And that's what our vision is.
Mathew, to say the very least, a mattress is a touch and feel, in fact, a sit and lie down kind of experience. How are you managing to sell mattresses online?
So, very good question. And this is one of the first problems which we had to encounter when we actually thought, we'll go fully D2C and online. I think a lot is to do with how consumers also have evolved. Technology has evolved. Consumer buying behavior has also evolved with, the new age marketplaces coming to, existence. A lot of people are very comfortable taking that first leap of faith into, buying products online. It becomes a bit tricky when it's a comfort product, like you rightly said. So it's about giving the consumers the right information in terms of, what they're looking for when they're buying a product, as well as, throw in a bit of trust in terms of, how, they feel comfortable, the brands interacting with them once they finish their purchase. So, there's a lot of education which goes to the consumer after they buy a product. And, we totally understand that every human being has a very different body type and they cannot adapt to a single comfort. So we offer a proposition called the 100-night trial, where the consumer gets the liberty to use the mattress at the consumer's house. And if they really don't like it, they can actually return for
100 days is a long time.
It is.
That mattress is pretty much, is it useful to you if they return it? What do you do with
Not
it?
at all.
Not at all. It's 100 days.
But it also, that kind of confidence comes within a brand when you know what you're offering is a great product. Sleepyhead backed with Duroflex, we have about 50 years of information in terms of what kind of products the consumers like. And, so the re-engineering of the product, which we actually put online, has got a lot of data backed up. And, it gives us a lot of confidence when we actually do that. And, same for the consumer as well.
And speaking of confidence, Mathew, you're confident enough not to use from the house of Duroflex in your Sleepyhead marketing. Why is that?
Two fundamental reasons. One, Duroflex itself, the way it's positioned, the products it's releasing, it's way more evolved in terms of technology and in terms of quality of the product. So the audience which a Sleepyhead is targeting is very different from, a Duroflex audience. So the audience which we are targeting are those audience who are, currently moving from a cotton-based mattress or a, like a PA, what we call, where they just put on the floor. Yeah. So the first upgrade is where we are looking, where we come in as Sleepyhead as a brand. And then it kind of evolves from Sleepyhead to Duroflex. So it's a different life stage and a journey for a consumer. So it's two different consumers altogether.
One, Duroflex operates in a fairly competitive market within the organized sector. Now, let alone competitors from the outside, you've developed your own in-house competitor. You have Matthew sitting next to you competing with you. What's the sort of strategy behind this? Why cannibalize yourself in a sense?
Duroflex comes in at a later stage in your life, maybe say around 27, 28. And that's the kind of TGV target, say 25 to 45. And probably your first job is over, you're moving into your next stage of life. You have a little more money to spend. Your problem statements are different. Early stage, your problem is, you're kind of moving as a bachelor. Maybe you're going to stay for a year or so. You want to drop the mattress and go. Probably a little more evolved, got married, moving into a new house. You need a better quality of mattress. Probably this asset is going to stay with you for a longer period of time. And that's where Duroflex comes in. So we have that, classification done internally quite nicely. So I think Sleepiest, maybe 3 to 4 years down the line, a Sleepyhead customer becomes a Duroflex customer.
Okay.
So if I can add on.
Yeah, sure, Matthew.
So might not be a direct analogy, but if you look at shoes, for example, people would buy shoes for comfort.
Yeah.
People would buy shoes, for, let's say, if you're very serious in walking and running, there are different shoes designed for an ergonomically designed. So like Mohan said, the first offering from a Sleepyhead is just pure comfort. Then comes a Duroflex range where a lot of ergonomics and design and technologies.
Yeah. So how exactly is your customer different from a Duroflex customer?
Plain and simple, people moving from a very unorganized to an organized,
cotton mattress to first.
Yeah, it's
professionally made
it's that simple. People who just looking for a great comfort and a mattress designed at good hygienic factories. We are the first offering.
And what are some of the other characteristics of your consumers, age-wise, habits-wise, media consumption?
If you look at a very Sleepyhead consumer, we probably target again from early 20s, from 2022. Like very similar to how Mohan said, right out of college, looking the first job, they might not have that kind of a budget.
Yep. What
they're looking for is a good, comfortable place to sleep and wake up. So our TG kind of starts from early 20s till about 35, and the primary consumption would be very digi-savvy, online, OTTs. Might not be fully exposed to your typical offline media channels, and they're the ones who would actually dare, because that's the era where these millennials coming forward who are kind of exposed first to an online buying kind of. So this kind of phenomenon resonates much easily towards them.
Speaking of digital, Mohan, you created an Instagram page called India's Sleepiest page, where you deliberately went to create a really boring Instagram page. What was the approval process for this like? Did everybody in the company say, what a good idea, what a terrible idea, shall we try? What was it like, the process?
While our endeavor is to promote sleep, we try and do some very different kind of content, specifically during the World Sleep Day, and that's we have been doing for the last 3 years. So we were, kind of discussing a real life problem, and we have a lot of youngsters who in their office, and they said, we don't sleep very well in the night. Like we spend a lot of time binging, watching Netflix,
doom scrolling.
Yeah, and a lot of scrolling. And we thought that's a real genuine problem for us to address. So hence we said it's a good way to probably launch the India the most boring and sleepiest
put
page,
you to sleep, and Instagram
right?
page that
and
puts
the
you to
moment
sleep.
you see that, it puts to sleep. We also wanted to give out a message saying that don't keep your phone next to your bed. We did some very exciting stuff during this campaign, where we gifted a simple alarm clock to anybody who bought a mattress in that week, and we said, please don't use your phone, use the alarm clock, and keep the phone away and go to bed on time and wake up on time. While we were doing this, obviously there was a very exciting match which was going on, the BFC, Sunil Chetri, and when we interacted with him, we found he's the right bet for us to send out this communication, because he's a fitness freak. He really focuses on his sleep. And there was some very exciting, Twitter post that was going around at that point in time. And we just landed with Sunil, and we said he's the best bet for us to run this. We spoke to him and we found he was the right guy. And then that's how we went with this.
But also to add, but I think it was directly the message, right? And the message was you need to shut off and not be on social media. And I think that was conceived very well.
And ironically, that was on social media to say, get off social media. Tell us about your digital strategy, Matthew. How much brand building, how much performance marketing? What's the split, or do you believe everything is performance?
No, absolutely not. I think building a brand is equally important. A point blank answer to that is, if you don't build brand, inevitably you're kind of building a commodity. So brand is important, especially when you have something great to offer. It's very important that you communicate the same to consumers. So we have a approximate split of about 60 to 65% of our money goes towards performance, and about 35% goes towards brand. So we did take in Ranveer as a brand ambassador last year, and for us, Ranveer resonated very well towards the TG who we're
He's a
targeting.
hyper energetic guy.
Yeah.
Looks like he never sleeps.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at the brand identity between Duroflex and Sleepyhead, also like Duroflex is way more sophisticated. I mean, it needs to resonate with regard to the products.
Ranveer is much more youthful energy.
Yeah.
Connects
So if you
with
go to
that.
a Sleepyhead page, it's way more vibrant, it's colorful, and at our TG, people would want to see more, excitement and color. So yeah, things working so good so far.
Mohan, what role do things like print and out of home and TV play in your strategy?
I would say a few years back, we were very traditional media driven. I think COVID really changed. I would say we always felt Sleepyhead would be very digital driven, and Duroflex probably will follow the
Use
traditional
media
yeah.
more.
But I think this entire offline online is no more. It's a more omni-channel, and we are an omni brand as we speak. So market to market it varies, but largely we find our shift is moving towards, depending on the maturity of the brand in different markets, is moving towards digital. So large part of our money does definitely gets spent on the digital medium. But there are specific traditional markets in South where we still have to focus and keep us live on the traditional medium. We continue to do that. But now I think the mix is changing depending on the market. Largely metros would be very digital driven, I would say. But tier 2, tier 3 would be, still we have to bank on our...
And print still holds some weight for you in terms of
print, we only
in terms of detailing?
We only do print when we are probably launching a new store, because we also have a lot of our own store expansion, right? We have almost 60 of our own stores. So we only use print
in that hyperlocal
format, or during specific events, probably in a tier 2, tier 3, but print is kind of wading off a little.
Okay. Matthew, when you launched first, you had too much stock, then you sold out, then you had too little stock, and then too much stock and too little. One would not think inventory would be such a big game changer or a deal breaker in your business. Tell us a little bit about inventory management and the challenges you faced.
The expectations from the consumer, I think inventory plays a significant role in terms of how fast you can service a customer, and today we totally understand when a consumer's spending about 10 to 15,000 trusting a brand, they would definitely want things much faster. And in the new age where food gets delivered in less than 5-10 minutes, I mean, that's the new expectation. And it's very important a brand really understands how the consumer buying behavior and psyche is changing, and adapt to that as soon as possible. So if you do not have adequate stock, it's very likely you're going to lose out on a lot of sale. If you have a lot of stock, you're going to lose out on your cash flow. So it's very important that you manage both.
Have you reached a good midpoint between too much stock and too little stock now?
So data helps. Data helps a lot. I think the team and the data is evolved to an extent where a lot of our demand forecasting is pretty accurate. I would say we are at about 80-85%, and I think that's a decent benchmark.
And is this a seasonal buying thing, mattress?
Well, speaking very candid, about 5 to 8 years back, you would definitely see a very seasonal heavy purchase during your your main festive seasons. Over the years, I think there has been a lot of education on sleep as well, and I think people started realizing I shouldn't be sleeping better only from a season. So I think the buying behavior is kind of evened out to a great deal. But having said that, there is still a slight skew towards a season, but not as what it was probably about 8 to 10 years back.
Changing gears now, Mohan, how do you assess the impact of a celebrity endorsement versus influencer versus community building? You've done all three types of things, I imagine. How do you evaluate A versus B versus C?
Celebrity endorsement, I feel very important to get this category some visibility, right? And we did some very industry first, starting off with associating with RCB a few years back, then Chennai Super Kings. We did get a lot of influencers like Madhavan, Anil Kumble, Mandira Bedi, all of them, coming and kind of helping us to do the influencer part of it. And then that's where we said we want to up the game, and we got Alia Bhatt. So it is very important that we had to do something which was disruptive, which is not seen in the industry, a little boring. So to get a lot of color to the entire excitement around mattress and sleep, right? So I think that really helped. But the influencer really comes into play for us is when we want to really send out some specific messages for what we stand for as a brand, including on certain specific categories we want to really call out for. So we have a right mix about using the celebrity for what it stands for as a brand and influencer for very specific messaging. When it comes to community building, we also have a page on our website which is called our World Sleep page, right? And we even run sleep webinars there. So we have a psychologist on board. She gives free sleep consulting to her consumers. They can come register on our website and take a free sleep coaching on how to sleep better. And that's the way forward.
And we actually need a sleep coach to teach us how to sleep better, because we have forgotten the art of how to sleep.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think. And interestingly, I find there are many consumers who want to really come and understand, how to really get sleep. And when I talk to a lot of our forums, there are many more saying, hey, we really don't know how to sleep, right? So that's the way we're trying to build the community, where we want to really evangelize the whole concept of sleep, probably get many more people to talk about sleeping well, and probably take sleep seriously, but probably using this brand ambassador and influencers at the right stage of the brand and maybe at right product.
Matthew, what is your bed in a box strategy?
Okay, let's start with the consumer problem. One of the biggest consumer problem is actually to deliver a big sized mattress. You don't know if you can take it in a car or an auto rickshaw. Then the other problem is to actually get it. I mean, God help you if you're on the 10th floor.
The lift.
If the lift is not working, then
it's another. Through your door, all of those things.
So one of the biggest problem which we encountered when we actually studied a consumer purchase behavior was this, and they always found it a big problem to actually get it transported to home. And considering most of our products are foam based, it was easy to compress and roll pack. So the entire mattress, which is a 6.5 by 6 foot mattress, comes to you in a small box where you can actually carry it on a bike or in a car. So it actually redefined the entire logistics of how a mattress could be delivered, and it actually, and from a D2C perspective, it works.
And there's nothing to do with how the mattress is made; it's how it's packaged and delivered. That in itself changed.
Yeah, correct. So one other aspect was you can compress roll pack a mattress only if it's of really good quality. So it kind of eliminates, the other trust factor where a consumer had was how good is this product.
Mohan, what's the future of mattress technology? What's going to happen to mattresses in the future?
Internally, we are doing a lot of work in terms of having our own lab. So we have a lab in this office where we are developing even devices which can help you track your sleep. Probably will give you early warnings about
like an IoT literally embedded in the mattress.
Yes, and we should have something coming out very soon, maybe next 6 months, which will probably give you early signals about some problem with your heart, or maybe issue with your sleep, which kind of won't be a curative, but it will be more like a preventive thing. Maybe then possibly, obviously, you have to go back to the doctor and check it out. So we were in US few years back, and we were told till the per capita test $3,500, mattress was a very subdued industry. And once it crossed that is when this industry exploded. So like Deepu said a while ago, I think we're just at the cusp of where mattresses.
We can start affording good quality sleep at a certain GDP level.
We all feel that a lot of tech play will come into the mattresses, probably giving a good mattress that can provide very good sleep, and probably with some, IoT based is soon, which was looking like a distant dream, is looking like a reality now.
And all these new startups that are emerging in the mattress category, does it bother you as an established brand?
No, we feel we should have many more, but we genuinely feel that everybody should look at providing good mattresses. I think it's very important for the category to grow as well and the market to increase. So few players, doesn't give the industry any importance, right? So we are quite happy that there are many more serious players coming into this category and helping the category go. And I feel that's the way the entire
pie expands for everybody.
I think we just see where paints was. We had one player, we have many more players, right? And we just correlate our industry to paint and say, I think we need more competition, good quality competition to come in.
Matthew, how do you make sure that your audience, let's call them the Gen Z and the millennial plus, come to treat mattresses as a lifestyle choice, the way they would deal with shoes or watches or clothes? Is it a lifestyle choice today, a mattress? Would you go off and show and say, I've got a Sleepyhead mattress that I just ordered?
Yeah, probably not with Sleepyhead, but with Duroflex for sure. I mean, we are very sure as to where we stand. I mean, a mattress is a product where, unless, like how Mohan said, unless it's got IoT in it, unless it's, waking up you wake up in the morning and say, Matthew, today, your REM sleep or so and so, unless there is a tech involved in that, it's not going to be a lifestyle product. And the second best alternative which we can give is great sleep. So it's going to be that. Unless the technology within a product really uplifts a consumer's lifestyle, that product will never deliver a lifestyle appeal. So we know where we stand. Where we stand is unorganized and organized. So we'll continue to play that and transfer our audience to Duroflex when it's the right time.
It seems to be a happy synergy between the two in-house brands. All right, and to wrap up this interview, I have a question about music for both of you. Mohan, first you. Apart from making mattresses, you also created a music brand called the Sounds of Sleep, and these are lullabies for adults, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a brilliant idea, lullabies for adults. And what prompted this campaign idea?
So this all started in early 20s when COVID just hit us, right? And we had World Sleep Day coming in. We found there's a good relation about lullabies, putting kids into sleep. And obviously lullabies also improves the bonding between the parents and kids. This was also a good way for us to build a community of mothers, get them on board. So the first season we recreated some old lullabies in regional languages. And the second phase, we created our own lullabies. That's a property we own. I think our endeavor always has been to put sleep at the forefront in some different form, and I felt lullabies were the best way to do it, and I think that really worked for us.
Mathew, you from Christ College, you were in a college band.
So we were called Purple Migraine.
Migraine.
As hard rock as it can get. And the funk band was called Wax. Played everything from your Pantera to Ozzy Osbourne to Red Hot Chili Peppers to Jamiroquai.
Okay, so how does your musical career influence you as a CEO and founder of a startup? Is there any correlation?
I think maybe patience and probably practice and really push hard to building creativity to actually get music out. That's the same logic here. You have to be creative enough to actually think of new strategies to make sure your consumers are always engaged and giving the right communication to your consumers.
And definitely don't give them a migraine, right?
For sure.
All right. Well, on that note, Mathew and Mohan, thank you very much for being part of Melt.
Thank you so much.
And with that, it's a wrap on this episode. You can follow Melt on social media. The handle is Ready to Melt, or simply log on to readytomelt.com. If you'd like to follow me, I'm @Suvenk on Twitter. Till next week, goodbye and thanks for watching.